Matt Miguez has plenty on his mind, and he's ready to share it with the world. It's time to hear the Miguez Mindset.
Welcome into a Monday edition of the Miguez Mindset right here on ESPN Southwest Louisiana. My name is Matt Miguez, and what a big weekend it was for both the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns and the New Orleans Saints. We're going to talk about both of those matchups, plus get a little preview of LSU Alabama, which is just a couple of days away. We'll start with the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns, a 33-20 victory over South Alabama that really wasn't even that close. The Cajuns really dominated from start to finish in this one, especially defensively. Forced 5 turnovers, got to the quarterback 5 times, had a defensive touchdown in this game. Just really a well-rounded performance, both offensively and defensively. One of the things that really impressed me with the way that the Cajuns played on Saturday, however, besides the defense, is the way the team was able to convert in the red zone. That's been a struggle for most of the season for the Cajuns, but they were really able to punch it into the red zone and put points on the board when they needed to. Controlled time of possession in this game, didn't have as many turnovers as many penalties, as South Alabama. Won the turnover battle +5. Just really a dominant performance. Now, people are going to look at the total yards number and say, South Alabama had 150 more yards than you. Yeah, who cares? Michael Desarmo said at postgame, yards don't win you games, points do. So I think the Cajuns did a nice job of controlling what they could control, making things happen on the defensive side of things. Zeon Christ was incredibly efficient, 13 of 17 for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jacob Cabote goes over 100 yards yet again. He had 23 carries for 119 yards and a score. The Cajuns threw the ball well, took care of the football, forced turnovers on the other end, and was really a dominant performance over in Mobile to improve to 5-3 on the season. And what this does even more than that for Louisiana is this game puts you in control of your own destiny in the Sun Belt. And what I mean by that is now you're going to go on the road to play Arkansas State, a team that you have struggled with generally. It's a good rivalry matchup. You've definitely struggled to win up in Jonesboro. So that's going to be an interesting aspect to watch this Saturday. But it's a game that, on paper at least, you should go and win. So if you take care of business there, you're 6-3. You come back home on a short week to play a really struggling Southern Miss team, which if you could win that game as well, you're 7-3 going into a critical matchup with Troy. Now, Troy is first place in the Sun Belt West right now at 6-2. But there's still time for them to slip up between now and your matchup on November 18th. But also, it puts you in the position to just go take care of business against Troy in 2.5 weeks and win the Sun Belt West and play for a Sun Belt Conference Championship. But at the end of the day, if you finish second in the Sun Belt West and you go, say, 8-4, make it to a bowl game, I don't think anybody's going to complain because that's a big step in the right direction for Michael Desarmo and his coaching staff. So really looking forward to seeing how a win like Saturday's, because again, you played a team in South Alabama that had scored 55 points apiece in each of the last 2 games, and you held them to 14. Because I'm not going to count the touchdown that they scored with 30 seconds left. You held them to 14 points. So a really good showing again defensively. Now, can you take the momentum from that and ride it into some wins against teams that you should beat is going to be the key here for Michael Desarmo's team. Now, flipping over to the New Orleans Saints, probably the most complete game the Black and Gold has played all season long. 38-27 victory over the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I know people are going to write about the fact that you gave up 27 points to a middling offense, and that's fine. But I really think all around the Saints played very well. Derek Carr looked very efficient, 19 of 27, 310 yards, 2 touchdowns, didn't have any interceptions. Taysom Hill gets 63 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns. Rashid Shaheed has a coming out party. Alvin Kamara gets his 11th career game with both a receiving and rushing touchdown. Tied up a pretty legendary name in Jim Brown. for 5th all-time in NFL history. So that was a critical situation as well. When you look at the way this game shaked out, at the end of the first quarter, it's 7-7, and then Indianapolis kind of gets on a run here, goes up 17-7, and then very quickly the Saints get back-to-back touchdowns, a 20-yard run from Taysom Hill, and then a 58-yard pass to Rashid Shaheed made it 21-17. The Colts get a field goal right before the half, so it's 21-20. And then in the third quarter, it was all Saints. With 7 seconds left in the quarter, Alvin Kamara punches it in from 16 yards out. That made it 28-20. And then early in the fourth, Taysom Hill gets that 1-yard touchdown run that made it 35-20. And then the Saints just kind of played, let's hold on and see what happens. They gave up a touchdown with 8:19 left to Drew Ogletree. But again, when you were the New Orleans Saints coming into this game 3-4, struggling offensively, nearly giving up more points than you've scored, you really just needed a good performance offensively, and I really think that you got that. 511 yards of offense. You only turned the ball over one time. You had 30 minutes of possession, 24 first downs. The Saints got what they needed yesterday after that game, and now you come home to play the Chicago Bears, a team that may have Justin Fields, they may not. If they don't have Justin Fields, they have Tyson Bagent, which he's played decent in the 2 games that he's played, but nothing world-beating, nothing that the pass attack, or the pass rush, I should say, of the New Orleans Saints could not get after. So, again, if you're the black and gold, I think you just have to look at the opportunity that is in front of you for the Saints as, right the ship, put a win streak together, build some momentum here, and look for opportunities to strike. Because now, at 4-4, you're tied for the NFC South with Atlanta, who lost yesterday. So can the New Orleans Saints kind of, piece together these issues that they've been having over the last couple of weeks? Because, again, lack of communication, play calling struggles, whatever the culprit may be, have the Saints found a way to kind of put all of that to bed, right? Only time will tell, but you definitely looked good yesterday up in Indianapolis before you get to come home to host Chicago. Now, with LSU, couldn't do much wrong this weekend with a bye week. But you've got the big matchup with Alabama on Saturday in Tuscaloosa, 6:45 kickoff, 4:45 pregame right here on ESPN 103.7 Lafayette and 104.1 Lake Charles. But the questions are starting to pile up because Brian Kelly held his press conference earlier today, and the Saints are going to be without multiple key pieces, including Mekhi Wingo, who had surgery in the bye week and is out for 6 weeks. Deuce Chestnut's also going to be out again. Denver Harris going to be out again. Zy Alexander, who injured his knee in the last contest against Army, he's going to be out again. So a lot of issues from an injury front on the LSU defense. Will the offense be able to score enough points to seal them a major win in the SEC West and a huge bragging rights moment against the Alabama Crimson Tide? Again, that game 6:45 this coming Saturday. We'll preview it more throughout the week. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at ESPN Southwest Louisiana. Make sure you hit that follow button on our social medias as well at ESPN_SWLA. We'll be back later this week with more Miguez Mindset right here on ESPN Southwest Louisiana.